you to ask a question. Somebody said, I'm trying to be a certified ethical hacker with zero technical experience. What should I start with? You should start with if you're serious about this, if you're really serious about something like that, I'm going to be honest with you. Like that's a very technical thing to get into. Very, very technical. So you're going to have a lot of hands on. You could start off with projects and stuff. And I would target, if it was me and I was trying to get into being a certified ethical hacker. Number one, they don't normally call it that. I mean, there's some that call it that, but for the most part, um, there's different names for it. Red team, red teaming is one term you might hear, or pen testing is another term you might hear. Another one is auditor, assessor. Sometimes they're a part of an assessor team. Um, there's a lot of different names for it, and just having a certified ethical hacker certification, um, and just carrying that name is definitely not enough. Normally, they're expecting those guys to really be hands-on and technical, and really have been around the block. So if I was you, if I were you, if I was if I was in the same given the same position, I'm trying to get my certified ethical hacker, and um and I don't have any experience. That's what you said, zero technical experience, and you said I'm making a career shift, starting with the comp certifications, starting first in the next 7 to 8 months. Okay, so what I would do, knowing what everything I know now, and that was my goal. The very first thing you need to do is get your foot in the door with basic IT. I know that's not a sexy thing to say, right? You're expecting me to say, buy my course. Once you're done with the course, you'll be able to make six figures, boom, within 8 months. That's not true. So no. So I'm telling you exactly what I would do. Okay, this does not benefit me to tell you this. You got to start off with basic information technology. Now, I don't teach basic information technology. I mean, I've got a book about it. I don't really talk about or promote it because that's not really my audience. But there are some guys out there. There's a bunch of people on YouTube who talk about basic information technology. So what I'm trying to get you to do is know the basics first, right? Like, you want to get your foot in the door with basics. So how do you do that? Now that your focus should be, if you are serious about this, if you are really serious about getting into cybersecurity, IT, network, whatever, if you're serious, it's going to take you a while, but it'll be worth the journey. I'm telling you, I've been doing this. It took me a while to get into it, and it's not for everyone. And there is a learning curve, but man, it's been rewarding. Like, through all this government shutdown, through recessions, through COVID, through all this stuff going on, I'm telling you, I've not been without a job. I'm AI, even like all this stuff people are talking about. I'm like, I'm not with. I mean, I am impacted by some of it. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this stuff, none of it's impacted anybody. I'm not saying that, but but since I do cybersecurity, I just I have been less impacted. I'll put it to you that way. I've been less impacted than others in other career paths. And if you look it up, one of the fastest growing industries is still cybersecurity, and followed by cloud and AI. There's some other ones in there, but cybersecurity is usually in that conversation. So if you're serious about getting into this, and you should be, your first steps got to be basic information technology. The very first thing you need to do. So that should be your focus. It was me. Somebody said currently getting an A plus and an N plus and a security plus. I will finish by February. Do you suggest an MSP to get an entry level position? I know, I know you preach moving laterally within the company that I work for. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is the same question, like the same group. I can answer both of these questions with in this same conversation. What I would do is I would start from the bottom, right? Getting the certificate. I'm not telling you don't get a certification or degrees or whatever, right? That stuff helps you to get be knowledgeable with a common body of knowledge. That's what it helps you with. Um, it's nice to put on your resume, but if you don't have experience, you can't really back up. You can't really back it up, right? So if you don't have experience, people are going to question that. Certification is not to necessarily get a job. It's more to validate the experience you have. Does that make sense? So if you get a certification and you don't have experience that's been validated, then it kind of takes the power away from the certification. And I'm not telling you don't get it. It's really good curriculum. The curriculum of Security Plus is really, really good. The curriculum, common body of knowledge for A plus, that was my first certification. It's really, I'm not going to talk shit about it. It's a really good core body of knowledge to understand computing. Basic, especially if you don't know anything. Like if you already been on the help desk, and no, don't waste your time with A plus, obviously. But Security Plus is both marketable once you get the experience under your belt, and the common body of knowledge is incredible. Network Plus, the way the market is going is it's really good if you're brand new. Like if you're an absolute beginner at everything, then Network Plus is, yeah, sure. I have the Network Plus. I got it many years ago, like when it first came out. But for somebody who's been around a while, you could probably pick up a lot of that stuff from Security Plus. And I like between A plus and Security Plus, you could probably bridge the gap. There's a little bit of gap bridging it does, but not enough to take the certification, maybe just to learn the stuff or whatever. But it's up to you. Anyway, so my bottom line with certifications with no experience is that it's good to get to fill out the curriculum and get the common body of knowledge that you're going to need, because you're not going to get a job without that. Like the common body of knowledge, knowing how the stuff works is absolutely important. Absolutely. Nobody's going to hire you if you don't have the knowledge. No one. All right. So getting the body of knowledge is good. And that same goes the same thing for degrees. Getting the common body of knowledge. Now, the next step is to get the experience. And there's a few things that I would recommend you do. Number one that you can do right now, there's no excuses except for your time, like putting time aside to do it, is projects. Doing projects in your house with their current equipment you have, probably even with your phone. You could probably even start off with your phone on your doing networking stuff on your phone. I'm not even messing with you. Like you could, what the equipment you currently have, you're currently touching, you can get experience. You can actually do projects on your own, customizing your own network, putting firewalls in your network, doing network attached storage devices. Just the heavy lifting of doing those projects is going to get you hands on. Now, where's all this going? So what you're going to want to do is try to get a local help desk entry level position if you can get it. And they're all over the place. They're just not called help desk all the time. One place you can check is your local communications internet um, companies. And they're like here locally where I am, we've got we don't have Cox, right? Cox is like huge in the South or whatever, on the East Coast, I think. But here what we have is we have Xfinity, Comcast, we got Highline, we've got a couple other big guys that are trying to come in, like AT&T. They're setting up their own network here, like to get people on cable TV and get networking all plugged in and stuff like that. Those guys have a lot of local jobs that you can be like a field technician. And I'm surprised nobody talks about this, but those networking guys, the guys who come in your house and connect your network, the cable guy, that's a network guy, basically. That's a low level networking guy. So they have to know a little bit about IP. They have to know a little bit about coax cable, difference between that and Cat 6, and the difference between that and fiber, right? They got to know what those things are and how to connect them. That's all part of networking, layer one networking. So the next step up from that is actual networking, and networking is some of the most badass, crucial technical skills and knowledge that you need to know for IT fundamentals. You'd be surprised how many DevOps, like software engineers, who do not know networking. And it is a fundamental understanding for cybersecurity and GRC and all that stuff. Like it's a piece you can't miss. You can't, if you skip it, it's at your own peril. So yeah, network. What I would do is I would first of all, you're going the right direction. Like you're getting the A+ certification to learn basic networking. You're learning like common body of knowledge stuff. You get that on your resume, blah blah blah. But what you really want to do, more important than the degrees, more important than certs, is to actually do projects. And projects is really what separates the girls from the women and the men from the boys, because once you start doing it, it's very frustrating and it takes a lot of patience to do it. It takes a lot of critical thinking. It takes time for you to think about, okay, what do I want to do? How do I do this? You're gonna have to go to Google. You're gonna have to go to freaking Chat GBT, and you're gonna have to ask questions to people. Maybe your cousin is a network person. You have to ask them, like, man, I'm stuck on this project. I can't get past this one thing. It's gonna keep you awake at night. Once you get really into it, you'll come across these really big problems. Well, they're not, looking back on it, they won't be big, but when you first start, it's huge problems. Like, give you an example. When I first started doing computers, I tell a story all the time. I was a cop in the Air Force. I was a grunt. We worked with at the time, we worked with the Army, the Navy. This is when we were just security police, right? They've changed the name like 3 times since I've been out, but we were security police. And we worked, it was hardcore, man. It wasn't, they would call us a chair force or whatever, but we were grunts. We were working with, like I said, doing air base ground defense with the Army. We in the Army and Navy and the Marines would like make fun of us because we were chair force or whatever, but we were doing all the same shit they were doing. So when I got into the regular Air Force, then I was like, okay, I see why they call it chair force now. Anyway, so I was a grunt in the Air Force, and I wanted to do computers. And what I first started doing was I built my own. This was my project. My first project was building my own computer. I bought a computer and I was trying to upgrade my computer, so I had to take it apart and put a card in, and it just didn't work. And at that time, you had to find the device driver. It's not like now where it's kind of plug and play. Plug and play didn't happen yet at that time. It tells you how old I am. But I had to figure out how to go get the drivers and install the right one. And that took me probably 4 or 5 days to figure out like how to get the sound on my computer to work. And it was very frustrating. But that kind of thing, that kind of challenge is what you need. You need those things, those tiny failures over and over again to start to make you understand IT. And those little things like that over and over again is like lifting weights. You go in the gym and you start off with small weights. And then after a while, you start like the small weights is not enough. You got to go bigger. It's like that. Like you're exercising that understanding with IT, that hands-on. After a while, you start to grow. And what's amazing, what happens when you first start off is that you start to realize that maybe I don't want to do cybersecurity. That was my original target, but you know what? I kind of like this cloud stuff. This cloud stuff is fire. I really like this. That's what happened to me. I started off wanting to be a software engineer. I did not care about anything else except software engineering until I did it. I got hands-on with software engineering, and I just was like, this, I don't think this is what I want to do. I just didn't want, this is not what, I mean, I could kind of do it, but I could see it wasn't what I really had in like the reality of what I was doing didn't match up what was in my head, what I thought it was, right? You know what I mean? Like programming, since the beginning, I've evolved into it. I've done my own programming projects, and I've gotten a new respect for it and everything. So it's a little different, but I just realized right away this is not really what I want to do. And then I started messing around, tinkering. I kind of like more of the hands-on piece, like putting computers together. And networking was, man, I was on fire for networking for probably the first 3 years of my career. Like networking was what it was all about. And I went and got my CCNA. I got the Network Plus, and then I was in the Air Force at the time. I'd cross trained into communications, and the Air Force called it at the time. It was a 3POX1. I think it's like a 1DX. I don't know what they call it now, but I was a 3POX1, which was a comms computers and communications. ComOps is what we called it. And we were help desk, we were networking, engineering, we were firewalls. We did all that kind of stuff, which I think now they give it to contractors to do all that now. But at the time, we did all that stuff. And what I learned was like I didn't want to be a programmer. I wanted to do like networking was really what I wanted. And I did that for like 3 years in the Air Force doing Cisco stuff. And then when I got out, I realized my calling is really cybersecurity. It's like I think what happened was I had a robust enough background in security. Physical security actually plays a part in cybersecurity, which I found out once I got in. But because I had a background in physical security, a strong background in physical security, and I had a background in network. I'd done networking for a few years, and then they put me into like doing GRC documentation, like policies and stuff. I had this trifecta, and then I had hands-on help desk experience. This trifecta of like skills that made it easy for me to do cybersecurity, and I kind of fell in love with it over time. And because I just start getting deeper and deeper into it, and so it's a journey, like the number one thing though is like you're going the right way. You guys like Chappelle and who else was there? Somebody on TikTok. You're going the right direction by learning the basics. The next thing you want to do is do projects in your home, like immediately, or if at your church or community centers, wherever you go, like on a regular basis, like offer services to do fix your aunt's computer, things like that, right? Those are all projects and things that you're going to get hands-on experience. Once you have all this hands-on experience, what I would do is I would apply for your local, go to your local biggest computer and networking businesses and organizations, and see if they have jobs available. Another thing you can do is if you already are employed, like Chappelle just said, if you're already employed, one of the tricks I always use is do a lateral move. I've done this over and over again, and it works every time. It works every time. When I was in the Air Force, I made a lateral move. I cross-trained is what we call it, from being a police officer to being a comms officer, computer guy. So now I did the same. Recently, I did the same thing. Within the last 3 months, I'm a contractor for a government agency, and I was at one job doing pure 100% GRC stuff with some vulnerability management mostly. And I wanted to do cloud, so I made a lateral move to a cloud part of our environment, like actually it's a whole different department, whole different organization within this gigantic 3-letter organization. So I went over to the cloud, and now I'm doing cloud security stuff. So I'm still in the same organization, but I saw that there were jobs there, or actually they found me, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then I made a lateral change. So that's what you want to do. Like if you might be an administrator in your school district or something, and hey, they got computers there. They got an IT department. That IT department might be shorthanded. You'd be surprised. Not everybody want to do this kind of stuff. So make a lateral change.